Alright, so I got a tan in honor of Don's LA retreat, but let's talk about that Mad Men finale. Now first off, going into this, I thought we'd actually already said goodbye to Roger and Betty and Joan and Peggy, and this is going to be the Don Draper hour. So I had trouble wrapping my head around the fact that within the first 10 minutes we'd seen everybody again, everybody was back. Now I was getting a little bit worried of how little we were seeing of Don Draper in this hour, because leading up to this episode, he was the one that was kind of left kind of floating in the wind of what was going to happen to him. I love the wrap up of Joan. I would have liked to have seen Olsen Harris happen, but this is a fitting end to Joan, her starting up her own business, but I think they dropped the ball on the ending of Peggy. Now Peggy's always represented women coming into their own in the workplace throughout this entire series, so to have her final moment be about finding love, it doesn't sit well with me. I think she's such a career woman, not that she couldn't have love, but just to make that the final moment of her struck me as kind of odd. The scene that struck me the most was that scene between Don and Betty on the phone. It reminded me of that scene at the end of season 4 where they're selling their family house, and you can tell these characters are supposed to be together. They're just way too screwed up to be together. And yeah, so to have this final phone call between them where they really want to say I love you, but they just can't say that. It was a really powerful moment. And I find it really interesting that Betty she got the shaft in the last 2 seasons in terms of storylines. You really didn't see her that much. So it was great to see her get such a showcase in these final 7 episodes. I think she actually was the most impactful character of these last 7 episodes. Just shows you what a tragic character Betty is. Then the big revelation at the end that Don created that iconic Coke ad. I guess presumably he did. He got himself together, came back to New York, and got back to work. I mean, that's what I'm hoping happened, but I mean, it kind of seems like, isn't this a never-ending cycle for Don? He kind of comes back to work, then he falls off the rails again and starts sleeping with people. I guess it's up to the audience to decide if Don returned happier and healthier and kind of figured out his life a little bit. I was surprised at how conventional this finale was, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It really made me think. I give this finale an A-.